But before we go to the practical, right, I want to tell you the scenario, how the actual scenario work in IT companies. Okay, so let's we use this paint, right, and I will draw you something that will help you to understand the scenario, how the project manager assign work to developer, or QA automation lead assign work to the QA automation engineer, right? Over here, when it says automation engineer, that means the developer. Okay, so let's we talk about that things. So let's suppose this is the manager. Okay, over here we will have one manager, right? So what manager will do, what activity manager we will perform, right, we will talk. So let's suppose this is my manager machines, right? So this is my manager. Let me make font little bit small. Okay, so my manager, and this is his machine, right? So what kind of the activity normally manager do, right? So first of all, he has git installed in his local machine. Developer also have git installed in their local machine. They have also created their account. Manager also have the repository or the account in GitHub as well, and the developer will also have the GitHub account. Okay, so what will happen in this case? So manager, first of all, in the local machine, he will create the few things, right? So first he will create the project, right? He will create the project, means he will create the basic framework, right? The structure of the project, where they need to put the module wise files and all those things, right? Then what it will do, he will create git repo local using the git command, right? So local repository he will create in a git bash. Then what it will do, he will add a files, right? Add files and required documents, right, in that particular git repository. Then what will happen, he will commit commit the changes to git local repo to track. Okay, so this activity the manager will do. So first of all, he will create the project, he will create the local repository. As of now, repository is blank. So what it will do, when he will create a file or add a file, he will commit. Once he will commit, then and then this file will get under the git repository for a tracking. Okay, and then what he will do, the next thing, he will push these local repo files to remote repo repository, which is GitHub, guys, right? Which is GitHub. So whatever he has in local machine, right? Whatever the folder structure he has created, he will push them to the remote repository, guys. Understand? So this is very basic, right? That makes sense. Create a project, create a Git repository, then add a files, add a document, commit it, and push it. So this is what normally manager do. Okay, this is the part of the manager or the senior activities. Okay, when the project will start, guys, mainly the project will start, they will perform this activity. Now suppose in this particular project we will have a two developer to work. Okay, so we will have a developer one. Let's suppose this is my developer one and this is my developer two. Okay, so I will have a two developer or two automation engineer, right? We can just say developer as well, we can just say automation engineer. So we will have a two developer. I will use the word developer over here, guys. So we will have a developer dev 01, right, and we will have a dev 02, right? So now, what manager will do? Manager will give these two developer a Git URL, Git repo URL, guys. He will announce or he will email, right? He will email or in a chat or somewhere. He will broadcast this to developer. This is the Git repo URL you can use for this project. Okay, and where you can see this URL on a remote machine, because he has put on the remote, right? He has put on a remote repository, so he can pass the URL. So if you go your Git account, you can see over here, right? It just says HTTP and this is the Git URL. You see, if I copy this one, if I paste it over here, so I can tell my team this is my Git repository. I have a files over here. You can start working on this one. Okay, we will see these things practically, but this is the Git URL look like. Okay, this is how your project repository name and this The extension will contain the Git. So after that, he will send a broadcast to the team, right? They can start cloning this one, right? Cloning means create a copy. So from their from their remote to the local, right? So what will happen? This developer will perform certain activity. So we can start. So first of all, as I says, clone the repo or copy the repo to local machine, right? Simple. So the URL they will take, they will clone the repo. Normally you will see this word clone, cloning the repository. They will clone the repo to the local machine, right? Now what will happen? Once they will clone, they will have all the files, right? They will have all their files to the system, right? Now what they will do? They will start working on that one, right? So will they says they will add or modify the information on the file, right? They will add and modify the files information, add, update, code, files, right? It could be the any files they will update in the project, right? They will add some new files or they will update the existing file, the given by the project manager, right? So once they will make their changes, right, what they will do, they will create a local repository. So they will again create a local git repo with the name, right? So this is for developer 1 or developer 2, something like that, right? This is the local repo, right? Now when they will finish their work, what they will do, they will just say commit the changes to respective local repositories, right? So developer 1 will do on dev 1 and developer 2 will do dev 2, right? So they will make their changes and commit their changes. So same thing will happening, right? Commit to the local, commit to the local. So once they will commit, it is ready to track the change, right? It will become on a local repository. And then after what they will do, they will, after committing, what they will do, they will push their code, push the codes or changes or code files, whatever the modification they have made or a new file added to the respective branch, right? Respective branch, I will just say similar, the local repository they will have a remote repository like dev 1, dev 2, okay guys? They will, and over here let me tell you the concept. So over here, when he will have a master branch, okay, because he is a manager. He is look after about all the changes they will gonna push to the master branch, okay? And over here they will create their respective branch as per the developer, and they will push their changes to the remote repository, right? And once they will push their changes, right, what they will do, the last things, they will raise the PR, right? Raise a PR to merge the code from like Dev 01 to master, and also Dev 02 to master. So they want to now merge their code. Okay, they have put the coding or they have put the required changes. Now they want to merge the file. So for that they will raise the PR. And what is PR? PR means pull request. This is also one of the word, right? If you are working somewhere, you have normally listen from the developer, right? I have raised the PR, please approve it. So when manager will review the whatever changes they have put, he will, what he will do, he will either reject or approve. If he will reject, then he will tell the reason, and if it is approved, he will put the comment, right? So this is how the normal things will work in a IT sector, guys. Very basic way, okay? You can keep this image with you when if you are a learner, so that will help you to understand the concept. So manager to developer and developer to manager, and how they will create from local and how they will manage on a remote side. Okay, so hope that this particular tutorial will make sense to you, right? The concept of Git and GitHub will make sense to you. So Git is something that will have a local, right? Local repo, understand like this. And when we talk about GitHub, right? It is a sorry, remote repo. Okay. Here, guys, so far how the IT work and how the normal project structure work in IT companies. This is how it's work. Okay. create a project, create a repository, initiate, and all those things, and how clone and commit and push keyword and commands will be used. We will see everything in practical. Okay, so in this particular video we're going to cover each and everything, and I have also list down few of the commands for your use, so you can also refer these commands, right, and how to use this. These are the useful command that you want to use on your day-to-day activity when you work as an automation tester for your project. Okay, so this is all about the Git and GitHub installation, the definition of repository and branch, and how you can start working on this one. So now the thing is that let's do the actual practical.